On your first day, you don't touch anything. You carry the equipment. You mark the perimeters. You learn what each color of yarn means before you can get close to anything. There is no margin for error in this work. The exclusion zone exists because people died before it existed. Starting salary, $18 an hour. It's what you gain while learning things that most people will never have the chance to know. The guy next to you has been doing this for 12 years. He doesn't talk much. You watch everything he does. 6 months later, you've memorized the safety protocols. All 40-7.to move up the career ladder. You need your first certification. In the United States, this means going through the International Society of Explosives Engineers ISEE program. You study detonation physics, shock wave mechanics, and rock fragmentation theory. This is not a weekend course. The transportation of explosives requires a specific federal license. An incorrectly completed form may result in the revocation of your license even before you use it. The minimum training before your first solo detonation is 400 hours. Most programs take 18 months to complete. You are still the most novice member of the team, but now you know why. You pass your first written test. The failure rate on the first attempt is more than 40%. Now you have your state license for detonation. You are now legally allowed to initiate a detonation sequence. You design the perforation pattern. You calculate the load and spacing. You carry the holes yourself. A blasting hole in operation is not something to be done in a hurry. One miscalculation in the delay time and you create a rock projection event. Projection of rocks has already killed people 300 meters away. Licensed detonators earn, on average, between $55,000 and $70,000 a year. This value increases rapidly with specialization. Your team now has a junior assistant accompanying you. 3 months ago, that assistant was you. His first solo detonation, 48 holes, 11,000 pounds of rock displaced. Everything went exactly as calculated. Here, the field splits: mining, demolition, seismic prospecting, underwater detonation. Each is a different world. In open-pit mining, you work with blasting projects that move hundreds of thousands of tons of material in a single event. The dust, the gas pockets, the unstable walls. A mining detonator doesn't just care about the explosion, it cares about everything the explosion releases. Experienced mining detonators in remote locations, Western Australia, Northern Canada, Chilean Atacama, earn between $90,000 and $120,000 a year, as well as housing on site. The demolition specialist operates in a completely different environment. Urban, controlled, observed by everyone with a mobile phone camera. You complete your first major detonation sequence in a quarry. A project that took 6 weeks of planning, executed in less than 4 seconds. Structural demolition is the most visible activity of this profession, and the most technically complex. You're not blowing up a building. You are designing a controlled structural collapse. There is a difference, and it is extremely important. Overpressure, vibration of the soil, debris dispersal radius, control of the dust cloud. Each building has a different sequence of failures, and you need to predict all of them before detonating a single charge. A single building implosion contract can be worth between $500,000 and $3 million. The commission of the detonation technician in a large urban demolition is not a salary. It is a fee per project. Companies like Controlled Demolition Incorporated have been doing this for over 60 years. Executives have already destroyed more square feet than most cities have standing. The building falls in the right direction. Each floor collapses in sequence. You planned this for 4 months. It took 11 seconds. Underwater detonation requires a separate certification and represents a completely different risk category. You will be applying explosive charges on bridge foundations, rock formations, and pipeline obstructions. Everything you know about the physics of explosions changes when water is the medium. An underwater shock wave travels 5 times faster than an airborne explosion. At close range, she does not break bones, but ruptures organs. Underwater demolition specialists working on offshore infrastructure projects earn between $130,000 and $180,000 a year. Some contracts pay more. The commercial diver performing underwater demolition earns more per day than most engineers earn per week. But the certification process takes years and the physical demands are constant. Certification obtained. You have now completed detonations in 3 different physical environments. Most technicians specialize in one of them. Seismic blasting is how the oil and gas industry reads the ground even before drilling a single meter. It consists in placing explosive charges at precise depth intervals, following a grid. The resulting shock waves create a 3-dimensional image of the rock formations below. You don't destroy anything, you just read the earth. Seismic teams operate in locations where the nearest hospital is a 4-hour helicopter flight away. If something goes wrong, you are responsible for the emergency response. Seismic blasting operators on remote oil and gas exploration contracts can earn between $160,000 and $220,000 for a single period of work of several months in the field. Further dangerousness. Further by remote work. Engineers who analyze seismic data are well paid. The person who generated this data with controlled detonations in remote locations receives even more. Prospecting completed. 300 detonation points. 0 incidents. The data is sent to the geophysics team, which finds a reserve of billions of dollars. This is where the role shifts from execution to project. You are no longer the person who carries the holes. You are the person who tells everyone else what to carry and where. You use software like JK SimBlast or ShotPlus to model fragmentation results, shockwave predictions, and vibration levels. You submit detonation plans for regulatory approval. You sign them. When a detonation goes wrong and someone gets hurt, the engineer who signed off on the plan is held accountable. This is not a theoretical concern. It's already happened. Detonation engineers with 10 or more years of field experience earn between $110,000 and $150,000 base salary. Senior-level positions in large mining companies offer even higher salaries. Now you review plans submitted by detonators who were in your position 10 years ago. You identify problems that they have not yet noticed. This gap took a decade to fill. Its blasting project for a major iron or expansion is approved. Projected material handling. 4 million tons in 18 months. At this level, you manage a team. It's not just about executing detonations, you manage people, schedules, regulatory compliance, and post-detonation documentation. You hold pre-detonation meetings. You clear the exclusion zone. You hold the detonator. And when something goes wrong during preparation, you make the decision. In real time, under pressure, a misfire charge that does not detonate is one of the most dangerous situations in this profession. The protocol for dealing with a misfire is detailed, rigid, and slow. Anyone who acts in a hurry poses a risk. Senior blasting operators and blasting supervisors in large mining operations receive base salary, performance bonuses, and work aids. Total annual remuneration from $170,000 to $230,000 in high-demand markets. The junior detonation operator on your team earns 1/3 of what you earn. The difference isn't random, it's the cumulative weight of every certification, every incident response, every right decision you've made under pressure. 10 years of experience. 0 recordable incidents under your supervision. In this industry, that track record is valuable. Some of the highest paid professionals in this industry don't work for anyone. They are consultants. A project presents a problem that no one on the fixed team can solve. Complex rock formation. An urban demolition with unusual structural constraints. A regulatory issue related to the existing detonation plan. They call you. As an independent consultant, your name is associated with each recommendation. If the project fails, the investigation begins with your report. Independent blasting consultants on large infrastructure and mining projects charge between $800 and $2,000 a day. A 6-month contract on a large-scale mining project, more than $200,000. For a single consultant, a single project. The person who started out earning $18 an hour carrying equipment. The person who charges $2,000 a day to solve problems that no one else can. Same profession, same origin. 15 years apart. Your report is accepted. The detonation sequence you designed moves 3 million tons of rock and stays within vibration limits. The client calls you before the start of the next Peugeot.no top of the corporate structure. The title changes. The salary changes. The scope changes. You oversee blasting operations in multiple locations, multiple countries, multiple regulatory jurisdictions. You don't hold a detonator. You build the systems that determine who holds you. At this scale, a regulatory failure in one jurisdiction can cripple operations across an entire portfolio. The risk is no longer physical, it is systemic. Detonation operations directors and vice president-level explosives executives in large mining corporations earn between $250,000 and $400,000 annually. Some positions include equity participation. Others include profit sharing tied to extraction performance. You started moving equipment. Now you move billions of tons of material, and the decisions you approve affect the commodity markets. 15 years. 5 countries. 0 fatalities under your operational responsibility. This is the number that matters most in this industry, not the salary. The safety record. The protocols you wrote are now standard operating procedure for a company with operations on 4 continents. Junior blasting operators you will never meet are following your guidelines. No matter the level, no matter the position, this profession never ceases to be physically dangerous. Those who have 30 years of experience know this better than anyone. There are fewer than 15,000 licensed detonation professionals in the United States. The industry needs more. The formation process is slow. Demand is not decreasing. Most people have never heard of this career. Those who work in it know that this is exactly why wages are what they are. You started at the edge of an exclusion zone, watching someone hold the detonator. Learned the meaning of each color of yarn. He passed tests that most people fail. He worked in mines, on bridges, underwater, in the middle of nowhere. He signed plans that moved mountains. And he was paid for it all, more than most people realize, and exactly what the risk demands. This is the trajectory of a detonation technician at all levels. From $18 an hour loading equipment to $400,000 a year managing global operations. Which level surprised you the most? Leave your answer in the comments. And if you want to see what the next career looks like from the inside, sign up. We're just getting started.